Okay guys, so here's a quick unboxing of the DJI Mini 3 Pro and the Fly More kit that comes with it. I have to admit, when it first arrived here at my office, I was particularly amused by the fact that the drone box is actually considerably smaller than the Fly More kit. But anyway, without further ado, let's go on and have a look at the drone. So when unboxing, always make sure that you don't score straight through the box and into the drone. Let's open it along here. Hopefully get that open. This is where the video ends up taking far too long because I can't even get into the box. So obviously looks really smart, up to the usual DJI standards in terms of packaging. I got the RC Pro controller because in my experience, using controllers without a built-in screen usually means they're dull, difficult to see. The battery doesn't last as long. Sometimes it's easy to forget to charge your phone, and so therefore you go to fly and realise you're actually restricted by the time limit of your phone's battery, not the actual drone. So the screen makes a lot of sense, and it's an absolute bargain in my opinion. So here we go. Here's the Mini 3. Just look how tiny it is in a lovely cellophane bag, which of course is good for the environment. And if I take that out, you can see, wow, I mean, I have to say this is the first time I've seen one for real, and just look how tiny that thing is. That is incredible. So obviously it's a quadcopter, so using my previous knowledge and understanding of them, they fold out in this way. And then the other ones, do they rotate like the rest of them? Yes, they do. And, oh, my bad, there's a little cardboard retainer for the props. Slightly larger props than the Mini 2. Overall, actually, I think it's a larger airframe. Fold that one out, but it's impossibly light. Really smart, look at that. So you've got, it comes usually with its usual stickers that say charge to activate the intelligent flight battery before using for the first time. Yeah, hopefully I'm clever enough to remember to do that. So back here, of course I should have probably looked at all of the manuals before looking at that. There's your on off button, which obviously doesn't do anything at the moment. You've got your USB-C charger and your micro SD. The battery surely goes in here. I'm gonna have to do another video where I don't look like an idiot because I can't even open the battery bay. Before I force that and break it, I'm going to stop. So you've got a couple of vents back here for cooling. You've got your rear facing sensors to make sure you don't bump into anything, and then the forward facing ones you've got, oh, and some downwards, 249 grams. Here's an interesting thought. I wonder if anyone's ever considered that when they add a sticker to the top with their operator ID on, that sticker is more likely more than 1 gram and therefore puts it into a different category. Have a think on that for a second. So gimbal cover obviously starts at this end, folds all the way up. That is probably one of the simplest gimbal covers I've seen in a long time. And then you've got all these stickers, remove before use. So that is going to be probably one of the gimbal guards. Oh yeah, here we go. This is to ensure, I guess, it doesn't get damaged in transit. Well, that's a bit tricky to get out. Sort of wedged behind the gimbal. Here we go. Job done. And then the gimbal itself, of course, comes covered in a sticker. Probably don't need to watch all of this. But this is usually the first stuff I do with my new drone. So, of course, with this camera, it has the ability to take portrait photos, which is particularly good for social media use. I'll be interested to see how we can use that from a commercial perspective. But as you can see, it rotates 90 degrees and so therefore can shoot vertically and look up between the two cameras and not get any of the propellers in the shot, which is another fantastically unique solution to DJI. So there's the drone, all unpacked and ready to go. All the motors feel beautifully smooth, and overall fantastic looking package. Just can't get into the bloody battery bay. Come back to that. So what else is in the box? That's the gimbal. Let's try and, it's always going to be tricky to get that out. Wow, just look at that, guys. Box is like perfectly sized to the controller. And in its cellophane bag, I'll take that out. Beautiful. Classic little gimbal stick holders, whatever you want, storage. That's really nice. It's got a C1 and a C2 button at the back there. Impossibly thin and light. This, I can see, has been very nicely ergonomically designed. I'm actually really pleased to see that they've got rid of the silicone rubber around the side of the sticks, because they after a while tend to degrade and fall apart and get sticky. So actually having just proper metallic sticks is really nice. And if I tap it once, we've got 2 batteries. Let's turn it on and see what it looks like. So we've got our different flight settings. Again, not entirely familiar with what they are at the moment, but I'm guessing N is normal, S is sport, and C is cine. That's usually how it works for DJI. Wonderfully bright screen. I am filming this at night with some dodgy lamps around me, so the light settings aren't the best. Let's hope there's a British setting, English, that's good. Click next. I agree, always. Do not, United Kingdom, hopefully I can spell that correctly. And then next. Oh, I'll go through all this kind of stuff later, but obviously I need to connect to Wi-Fi in order to finish the setup. But anyway, that feels really nice. Got some good buttons there. It's a little small for my big Western hands. I always find the hardest maneuver to use or to complete is to sort of yaw the air or roll the aircraft and then tilt or pan the controller using this wheel at the top here as well. And I can see it's sort of fitting within my little fingers. That's going to be just as tricky as any other controller, which is a shame. But anyway, I love the fact that it's got built-in antennas, none that you have to fold out and worry about breaking. It's got plenty of spare buttons around the place, so that's looking really nice. Let me just turn that off for now. So, what have we got in here? One more box. Got some cables, what's that? Some spare props. Hopefully won't be needing them, but that's always handy. We've got the USB-C to USB-C cable. And another little screwdriver for changing the propellers, of course. Nice. So, I mean, that is fantastic. So, confession here, in my last video of the unboxing of the Mini 3 Pro, I was struggling to open the battery bay, not realising that this little button here and one on the other side is actually part of the battery, and it's a bit stiff, I must admit. But you actually pull the whole battery out and reveal no cap at all. But anyways, I just thought I'd show you. Of course, there is a battery in with the drone. That's when I finished recording, I went back and thought, hang on, I'm sure there was a battery with this drone. Anyway, here it is. Fantastic light. In fact, actually, hopefully my hand puts into perspective the size of this aircraft or even a pair of scissors. It is tiny and yet surprisingly large for a 250-gram drone. I'm really looking forward to seeing it fly. Anyway, next video. Then we've got the Fly More kit. Now I'm going to stop recording and turn this into another video rather than it being one long one. So thanks for watching the unboxing for the Mini 3. Tune in for the next one for the Fly More kit.